Here comes the invaders. Oh yeah.
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Hi.
Did you give him a haircut? Daddy!
Did I give him a haircut? Well, I guess you could call it that. Yes, she does. She used to practically live in here when she was a little kid.
Daddy!
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Got tossed around a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is Evelyn, my niece. She's my favorite, right?
Yeah.
But do I say that to all my nieces and nephews?
Daddy!
Okay.
Hi, Teddy bear.
This is my sister Jennifer.
Hi. Hey, what's this?
You've never met her.
Want to
I
take a
used to live
bath?
in an RV.
She did.
I am mostly known
Hey,
for
are you
being the
hungry?
woman who interviewed the indwelling woman, Rachel.
Rachel, yes. And
I
every
interviewed her.
yes.
I've
So
been
you
trying desperately to interview Joey.
yes.
I told her it was today, and she said no.
Because why? Why though? Why?
Because you weren't pretty. But she looked
Oh no,
beautiful.
they're gonna know that's true. Now listen, you have to lie.
Oh, okay.
It was-
oh,
no.
you were fixing the roof. Yeah, that's right.
And I was, but now I'm kind of pretty.
I was looking at you.
Daddy?
Well, just in case you force me to do the interview.
Good. Yeah, I think we should absolutely do it.
Okay.
Feels like
Well,
he took one. He's nice and
okay.
soft.
So you're not going to believe this, but today I was roofing and it's 108, maybe 112, and my sister's here, and I'm all sweaty and I feel gross, and I thought this is the perfect time to start my story. All accomplished, feeling accomplished, and let me move this over here. My sister, who you probably saw in a clip that I put before this to introduce her, or when she was complaining about me or something on a video. I can't remember what she said, but I'm sure I'm going to post it.
Destroy my life.
Yeah, she was like, she outed me, so I have to post it. Anyway, so today she's going to ask me some questions.
Yeah. So I'm really excited because
You probably need to speak up.
I feel like, you know, that I love your videos and I like watching them, but I feel like people don't kind of understand what's going on. And I mean, as you know, I'm really passionate about women telling their stories, and I think that you have a really good story. And for some reason, you have not included it. I'm so glad.
So you're frustrated too.
Yeah, I'm just grateful that I finally was able to force you to sit down and just answer a few questions.
And she definitely did force me,
Yeah.
because today was
And
not
these
the
are
day.
honestly, I'm a junkie for RV women out there, and so these are really going to be driven by my curiosity.
Let me test the audio to make sure they can hear us. Okay, well, the audio sound good, so we're just going to keep going.
Okay, great. So,
She moved. If you didn't notice, my eyes now are not over here.
I just
She
didn't-
moved.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you guys didn't figure that out,
Yeah.
but she's now standing up.
when did you first get into an RV? Like, what's the deal with you and RVs?
This was my first one.
This old crappy ass RV.
This old crappy ass RV was new one day.
You bought it new? Oh yeah. Okay.
Once upon a time, this was new.
So what year was that about?
Well, I used to say 1999, but I bought it in 1997, so I must be off on that.
Okay.
So the numbers don't add up. Let's
So
not do
really,
numbers.
20 years. You've had this thing
This
for
is
20
20
years.
years.
You put every mile on this thing.
Yes,
Okay.
I bought it when I opened the restaurant.
Am I allowed to ask how many RVs you've owned?
You're not allowed to ask that question
I'm sorry.
yet, because you can't reveal too much too
sorry.
quick, because then
Okay.
they'll just tune out and subscribe to somebody else.
Okay.
Because they'll go.
So that's
they
not-
won't believe you anyway.
Okay. Okay.
And,
So I won't ask you how many RVs have you owned.
How many?
I won't.
And there's one you don't even know
Okay.
that I own.
Well, you've owned some for just like 3 days that I know.
Oh,
about.
okay. You remember that one?
Yeah, the
that
one
I
that
bought for the RV.
the girl, you bought it up in Skaney.
It was like $500.
Yeah, and you bought it. You drove by it and you bought it.
Or no, they pulled up into my driveway and were trying to park it, and I said, I bought it. And I said,
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
and I sold it for $1,200.
Yeah, it's good. Good deal.
Anyway, so what was your question?
Okay, so anyway, that was off on a different tangent. Why do you choose to live in a little Class C? You've had some
Oh,
pretty
this
big
was the
ones.
first one I bought.
Yeah.
In 1997, when I opened the restaurant, and I bought this as a mobility cart, and I told people that already.
Mm-hmm.
This was just so I could get to my restaurant, and because I couldn't stand up and I couldn't work that, but I was able to manage and be the most I could be.
So it was more like functionality with work, not RV culture for you at the time.
Never camped in this thing
Yeah. Okay.
for 10 years that I mean.
When did you kind of convert to living in RVs?
when I bought this, I just knew that I would never be without an RV because having my whole
And that's
life
why you had
with
one
me,
everywhere?
That's why I've had one. That's why I have them in fields, places,
Okay.
and unknown places. I have
Because in
RVs.
case you lose one or two, you always have a backup.
This one was lost,
Okay.
and
I remember when it sank into the ground. And
What?
the tire sank into the ground. You couldn't get it out.
oh, when it got stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but this I lost for 2 years,
Yeah, no.
and I had to find it, and I have video of that,
Yeah.
and I found it in a junkyard in Denton.
Okay. So when did you decide I'm going to move into an RV and I'm going to not have a house anymore?
Well, I was still married at the time.
Okay.
Great marriage, and it had nothing to do with the marriage. It had to do with me trying to keep up with the marriage and the business. So this, for some reason, I may have lost or was parked somewhere else. Or, oh, I know. I got the Class A. Dan drove down to Florida and got this Class A, and I thought, this is great. It was and so I had a 30-foot, which is a nice size Class A. Maybe 32, but I think it's 30. No, it's 30.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's 30.
Okay.
It's pretty short. And I got that Class A, I don't know, maybe 7 years after this one. And I'm not sure where this one was, maybe parked somewhere. But the Class A was like, oh, I need this. And this was like a home. And then I parked it outside our house. And so I would occasionally sleep out there or live out there or whatever. I don't know. And then I drove it around town as my car. And it drove people nuts because it's a small town, and I drove a Class A as my car. And I go, and people were like, where are you going? I'm like, to Walmart. Where are you going? To dinner.
Yeah, and you had more than one RV.
And then, you know,
So it
Joel
was your-
used to make me pick him up at the bar, and all his friends would pile in, and I was the designated
Oh,
driver.
I do remember the parties. Yeah, there's some parties.
I wasn't
and stuff in
drinking.
the RV,
I couldn't drink and drive. But,
Okay,
you pull
but
up to a
then you
bar.
also have lived in a van. A little tiny van.
Oh, the van. Yes.
Your little backpack.
Well, backpack.
Yeah.
Yes, you met backpack.
That was
yes.
a neat van.
It had a good feeling to
Yeah.
it, yeah. And I have pictures of that, and I'm going to introduce. Backpack's name was transferred to this one because of the feeling.
Okay.
But I did live in a van. So I've lived first the Class C, then the Class A,
And
and
then
then
the van.
then there was the boat and the other RV in between.
The garage.
The garage, you know,
Okay,
and then...
we cannot digress that much.
You can't digress that much
No, so
because...
let's, this is the RV channel, right?
Because I'm going to have to
Okay.
break this up and give
Right.
people clips at the end of videos. So that they'll go.
Why did you pick this one? I mean, you really did have a lot of different options. Why did you stick with this one?
This was the only Class C that was for sale in the UP.
But I mean, like, of the RVs that you've had, why is this the one that survived and that you live in? Why is this the one you chose?
22 foot, it's like a car. And it's small enough, and the prices of them are $120,000 now. It's
Okay.
ridiculous.
Okay.
Why, you know.
So you found 22 foot for one woman is about right. for
22
you, yeah.
foot, this is even, now that I'm going to grow food, I would never go smaller or bigger. Not 2 feet bigger and not 2 feet smaller. If I wasn't going to grow food and have businesses run out of here and, you know, and be a celebrity, I mean, I need clothes, closets, and beers.
Right, yeah, because you dress
And
up every day.
space for all my help, you know, the
Right,
makeup and
right,
hair
right,
stuff. I
for
mean,
sure.
I need space for
You
them.
tow that trailer behind you.
I tow that. Yeah, I'll have the
Yeah.
glamour trailer.
Yeah.
No, so this is the 22 foot. I'm just in love with it. You can't convince me of anything different.
Okay.
But I did have the van and a trailer last year, a 6x12 trailer, which
Yeah.
you saw, and you were like, "I get this."
Yeah.
You knew when you saw it.
Yeah, because you lived in that one in the driveway for a little bit.
For a little bit, till my sister said, "You can't live in our driveway," and I was like,
they were calling the police. Yeah,
"Yeah." There, she was like, "Well, I wasn't going to live there. I was just loading up stuff, but I wasn't doing it quite quick
but
enough."
You were okay.
I was living there.
It's sort of what the word "live" means, you know, like
I was staying there. I wasn't
sleeping in there, and I was eating in there, and I was cooking in there, and then the neighbors were calling the police. But
No, my sister was going to call the
Okay,
police.
that's
The neighbors had trailers
you can
next
cut
door.
all that out. You could cut all that
The
out.
neighbors had a trailer.
But this was a utility trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. So how has your life changed? I mean, you really, when would you say you really transformed into like, I'm absolutely adopting and embracing this lifestyle? Because you've gone from this was my work car, I've had a lot of different types of RVs, but when would you say like, no, this is it for me. I'm this nomadic person and I live in my RV. What was that? What was going on? Like, when was that?
I think that really, when Bob Wells and Jamie did those videos, and I remember watching it, it must have been like 3.5, 4 years ago, quite a while ago, and they said, ladies, come out here. Come to the desert. You're safe.
So it was the RTR that kind of...
And, well, they were having RTRs, but I didn't really understand what that was. I just heard Bob and Jamie's voice and their credibility, and I felt like, you know what? I'm going.
So feeling safe was part of...
Feeling safe, and because for 20 years I RV'd, and with fatigue and fibromyalgia, and I did it horribly and unsafe, and I have death trips and 7 years of videos, which I'll share, but so I can show people what not to do, but more importantly, when I got healthy 3 years ago, it's 3.5 now, I now was like, I could go out there.
So it was kind of like almost like your sick mobile in a way, because I do remember that it was where you had to go kind of have your fainting couch and lay down and not feel well.
Like,
I have to rest.
Yeah.
And
my systems were...
But then as you got healthier, then you saw those videos.
Well, I got healthy like in a month. It was just like everything all of a sudden had choices. And I went, wait, I can live my dream life that I tried and failed at.
And you always kind of talked about, even when you were sick though, you kind of always talked about the desert.
I was trying to get there because I thought, I'll be healthier here. But nothing got me to the desert. I just couldn't get there.
No.
And it's interesting because I had the money, I had other resources, I had everything, and I never could get there. And it took me not transitioning into my net worth became zero. I don't know if that's zero, but whatever.
Big change from how you used to be.
Having
Restaurants.
the financial security, and then to actually go in an RV that wasn't even safe, and the tires were used.
So it really was taking a risk.
It was a huge risk, but I thought, I have no choice. I'm dying in Michigan in the weather and the stress and the building, and I'm like, done with all that. And I went, I'm going to the desert. And I only had so much gas money calculated and price of gas.
So you didn't wait until you had enough money and the right RV, and you just had to go.
I didn't wait.
You just had to go.
I had to go because if I knew, if I got to the desert and in the arid climate, that I could work and make $20 a day or $30 a day, and I thought, I just
need to get there.
I would rather chop wood and haul water and do things that I had to pay people to do and take care of me.
Yeah, you were paying everybody all the time.
Hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. So that happened. How did you change after that? So you got to the desert. You came. You're a very different person, than you were before.
Yeah.
So what was that about? I mean, what?
It was really. I had never had space in my life, in my head. Like, there was always something to do or to fix. And it was interesting because I drove out in this RV that had no generator, no toilet. This wasn't, no air conditioning, no electricity, no power. I had the dash outlet. My refrigerator worked when I was traveling because I had a battery. But then that died when I got to about a month because I abused how it was used. It wasn't ever charged. I just never plugged it in. I turned the car on, and so I killed the battery. So then I had no fridge. But how it changed me was I didn't know that you could live with the dash outlet.
So you really went more minimalist than you ever imagined you would.
My intention wasn't to say, I'm going to survive this, I'm going to struggle and this. No.
Well, so many people think, oh, what do I need in here? I need to have this, and I need this, and how am I going to make my water run, and how am I going to...
That's me today.
Oh, okay. So you come back around.
So I'm like, I need this, I'm not going to... No. I mean, I could drive out there right now with a dash outlet.
But so that was a real unexpected... But you don't use the word challenge. It seems like you... When I said, how did you change and what was positive, that's what you mentioned.
Well, it was shocking how much space in
your mind?
Just... There's space around you. You can leave your door open. There's no mosquitoes. There's no bugs. You're safe. There's Power Rangers.
So it was physical
Power
space.
Rangers.
There were Power Rangers. Tell me more about that.
Yes, there were Power Rangers.
Hold on. I just need to stop here for a moment. Okay, what did the Power Rangers look like? Did other people see
They drove around in
Did other
trucks.
people see the Power
Other
Rangers?
people saw the Power Rangers.
Other
Except
people,
they
you
were
weren't
just
the only one seeing the Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
There's another word for them, but I don't know what they
Okay.
were. But they were Power Rangers.
But
to
other
me.
people did see them. It wasn't just
Yes.
you seeing them.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just other people
Just a
saw them.
quick
Yes,
check there.
yes, yes.
Um,
Federal Rangers or something.
Okay, you made me. Okay, so, but what I'm hearing you talk about is that you found physical space and the ability to open your door, but it also cleared your head. You're pointing to your head when you say it.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm just sitting there in the most beautiful trees. I thought there'd be just a cactus and some scorpions and snakes. I was like, it was lush and there was rain and it was.
And did you
beautiful.
meet people there? I mean, what happened?
Well, the first two people I met, when I drove into Arizona, and when I drove into Quartzsite, I was like, okay, oh my God, I made it. And I just knew I'd be okay once I made it to a place that was supportive of RV lifestyles. And I pulled into High Jolly 2-week stay place, and I saw all these RVs. I thought, I'm not an RV. I'm a van. You know, I call this a van. A lot of people call it a van because it acts like a van. And then I saw these two people that were living in tents in their cars, and I said,
Okay.
I pulled in between them, and I
you
said,
knew that's where you
I
belonged.
knew I belonged between two tent campers, and they were the most extraordinary people that I've ever met.
So you connected with people that were more like you.
Yeah. Well,
you
they weren't
admired?
like me at all. They
Okay.
just got what they were kind of
So they were
crazy and cool and different.
people that were different than the people you met
Ugh.
in your regular.
And I thought
everyday
they were
life.
just like, I was like, I love you guys.
Okay.
Like, you
So
know.
there was like a physical space, there was a clearing of your mind, there was a health that came with being in the desert, but also this community that you started to build.
Yeah, well, I knew they weren't my community, but she picked me up the next day, took me in a car, showed me around town, showed me where the showers are if I need them, free food,
So people helped you,
and she was like an angel that really was,
showed up for that one purpose.
because I wouldn't have felt that way. I would have pulled up to RV people and just pretended to be
Right.
something different.
Yeah.
But I could be who I was around them.
And then, so when did you, it sounds like you started to form relationships though. Like when did that happen? How did you meet people that you thought, okay.
Well, I met people at the swap meet and at the other places, but, people were in pain, and then I would say, you need to take this, you know, so I would be like, I can help you. And they're like, whatever. And then I'd help them, and so I would establish relationships by helping people, and those are still my friends today.
Okay.
But just a couple. It was when I went to the RTR, which I
Okay.
almost didn't go to because I was so like, I have to pack up my stuff, and I'm not, just whatever I have in common. I needed to work at that time, and I was like, I need to focus on my income.
So your brain was still kind of in a different space.
I just felt inadequate to go to the RTR. Like, can't go spend 2 weeks hanging out with people. I didn't really have the money, and I didn't.
So why did you go then? What made you?
Because that's the whole reason I went out there.
Okay, so
and
you
my
forced
friends
yourself to
and
do
everyone,
it.
and they were like, "You need to go."
Okay.
And so I was like,
So you just listened to what other people said.
and I was like, "You're right." I was just, I'm a slow moving train, and so if it was raining, or I was like, I packed all this business stuff, so I was a massive not junkyard. I had to move everything in tents and move it back in and load up everything and get my food, get out there for 2 weeks, and that was a major event for me. But as soon as I got there, it was like I was floating off the ground. The people, the energy, it was so positive. It was exhausting. That's a whole other interview.
Okay.
Just
Great.
that.